In this video, I will show you how to quickly check your website tracking quality, including server-side tagging. Oh, and if you are a freelancer specializing in website tracking, then this is a great way to get more clients faster. Here's Stape's website checker, and I will post a link to it below the video. Basically, it works like this. You will just need to enter the URL of the website that you want to check, then click scan your site, enter your email, and then after a couple of minutes, or usually faster, you will get a report showing you the score, what can be improved, and also some additional tips on how to improve those things. You don't need to have a Stape account to use this, but if you do, then the process of verification will be a bit faster, because you will not need to enter the email address every time you use this tool. So let's give it a try. I have randomly found this website. It's an e-commerce store. So let's copy its address and then enter it and use it in the Stape website checker. I already have a Stape account, therefore they won't ask me to enter the email address. But in your case, if you don't have it, then when you enter the URL and click scan your site, you would be asked to enter the email address right here, because once the scanning is complete, then you will get an email with the link to the report. Or if you want, you can just stay on this page and eventually the report will appear. But of course, the email address is still needed. So as I've said, Stape's website checker, they can give you a score, and that score can be from 0 to 100. 100 means that everything is configured very well, while 0 means that there are a lot of things that should be improved if you want to increase your data accuracy. So now I will pause the video and I will continue once the scanning is complete. By the way, I release Google Analytics or Google Tag Manager tutorials every week. If you want consistent flow of fresh knowledge and to stay up to date, then subscribe to this channel. It will help us a lot. Alright, so the scanning has been complete and this website got only 7 out of 100. And I would say if the score is below 80, you should definitely take a look at the setup. Also, Stape briefly explains the structure of the score. So analytics setup got 6 out of 100, Google Ads tracking got 6 out of 100, then cookie lifetime is not mitigated at all, which means that things like intelligent tracking prevention from Apple, it limits the lifetime of cookies and they might expire within 24 hours or 7 days. And there's also a score related to page speed. Now, the rest of the content, when I scroll down, it might be different depending on each website. For example, for some websites, the list of suggestions will, of course, differ if we compare to another website. So let's take a look. I will scroll down and they found 6 trackers. We have Meta, which is Facebook tracking, then Google Analytics, TikTok, Pinterest, Impact, and Mixpanel. So we can see that this business is probably running ads on these particular networks. They have pixels to track conversions. However, the problem here is that all of these pixels are implemented only client-side, which means only in the browser. Now, I don't know if that is done with Google Tag Manager, but I can quickly check. I can go to the website, then open Developer Tools, go to the network, enter gtm.js, and reload the page. And yeah, I see their Google Tag Manager container. So basically what they have done is that they have website Google Tag Manager. They have a bunch of pixels probably installed inside Google Tag Manager, but they have nothing related to server-side tracking. In fact, if I scroll down a bit lower right here, you will see that their website is not using server-side tagging at all. But I'm going a bit ahead of myself, so let me go back and let's take a look what can be done here as well. So for each group right here, there is an improve section. You can click here and then they will show you some tips. They might have a tutorial that explains how to achieve one or another thing. So this is useful for those who are not super experienced with Google Tag Manager and server-side tagging. Then for some websites, if they are potentially running ads, Stape's website checker can also give an estimated ad spend loss because of not using server-side tagging and not implementing certain things such as cookie lifetime extension. Then if you scroll down, they look at the main tracking cookies. So here are Facebook's cookies, Google Analytics cookies. We also have TikTok related cookies, and as you can see, their lifetime is short. This is the default lifetime or the lifetime affected by intelligent tracking prevention. So instead of expiring in a year or so on Apple's devices, for example, on Safari browser, Google Analytics cookies will expire in 7 days, which means that if the user lands on your site today and then comes back to the site after 10 days, Google Analytics will treat that as a new user. So your attribution will suffer significantly. Another cool feature, in my opinion, is that Stape's website checker also integrates with SEMrush. So they take a look at your closest competitors as well. They show you the score of your website, and then they will include one or more competitors, and you can see how well they are doing. Even though in my opinion, I would say that in this particular segment, none of these websites perform very well. But if we compare against the leader right here, which has 42 points, then this particular website score seems even lower. Now, if you were wondering why this website has a higher score, even though they are not using server-side tagging, well, I've taken a quick look, and it's because their page loading speed is quite high. So that increases the average score. But in general, even if you are using server-side tagging out of the box, it's not enough to have a very high score. You still have to do a lot of tweaks inside of it and in your server-side Google Tag Manager container. Now, if we scroll down even further, then you will get recommended actions. And for this website, since its score is very low, you get a lot of tips. So this particular website should increase the cookie lifetime. You can click here and then read or watch some tutorials on how to do that. Then they also suggest to implement server-side tagging for Google Analytics and for other tools that they have. And I think for each one of them, they will have a tutorial. So how is this useful? First of all, you can quickly identify certain areas of improvement when it comes to your website tracking. I mean, sure, you can conduct an in-depth audit of your own, but if you want a quick, high-level audit that can pinpoint certain issues that your setup has so that you could improve, then Stape's website checker is a great option. Then many businesses are still not using server-side Google Tag Manager. Some of them don't want to invest money. The other ones are hesitating whether it will give them any value. So Stape's website checker can help you handle or mitigate some of those issues. For example, if you're running ads, then Stape's website checker can give you estimates of potentially lost ad spend because of things such as intelligent tracking prevention or browser extensions that are blocking your website tracking. So if you implemented server-side tagging, that could potentially optimize your data that you send to those ad platforms. And another interesting thing is that you can quickly compare against the competitors. So for example, if you have a stakeholder who is hesitant to start using server-side tagging, and in the report you see that your competitors are using that and they have a much higher score, that could be one of the arguments for the stakeholder that maybe you could say, hey, look at our competitors. Many of them are using server-side tagging to improve their ad spend. So maybe we should give it a shot as well. And if you are, for example, a freelancer who specializes in website tracking, you could use Stape's website checker to more easily find and convert potential clients. Instead of manually running audits or just sending them cold emails saying like, hey, I can fix your Google Analytics tracking or Meta Conversions API tracking, you could pick their website, take their URL, use the checker, then find those suggestions, and then craft a much more personalized email or offer for that company with the potential list of improvements, and then you can suggest to implement those for a particular amount of money. And this would be done much faster rather than running and performing, certain audits manually. But even if you're not a freelancer, then this website checker is still very useful because you can check your own setup and either find areas of improvement or just get one more confirmation that your setup is already pretty solid. And that is how you can use Stape's website checker. Now go ahead and give it a try. If you found this video useful, hit the like button. That will help me understand what videos do you like and what should I create in the future. Also, if you want to learn more about Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics, then subscribe to this channel. My name is Julius, this is Analytics Mania, and I'll see you in the next video.